Hi, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us for today's demo entitled Accessing New Data and Features in the Racial Wealth Equity Database. We are so excited to have you here today. We have some really heavy hitters here to speak to you and guide you through this amazing resource. So we'll give people about 30 seconds to join before hopping in, but feel free to take this time to get cozy, grab yourself a snack or something to drink, and we will be right back with you soon. Thank you. Okay, again, thank you so much for joining us for today's demo entitled Accessing New Data and Features in the Racial Wealth Equity Database. We are so happy to have you here. We know that you're going to learn a lot from us today. We want to encourage you to use the questions box and also to refer to the chat within the next 10 seconds for some important housekeeping. But we really want to jump right in today for today's demo so that you can have as much time possible, just interacting with today's content. So without further ado, I am going to pass things along to Jay Henderson of the Black Wealth Data Center. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So again, thank you all for being here. My name is Jay Henderson. I'm the product director for the Black Wealth Data Center. And before we jump into today's features, I just wanted to give you a little bit of context. You know, the Black Wealth Data Center was really conceptualized to provide data disaggregated by race to practitioners who are really within the racial wealth equity space and working with advancing wealth equity in America. So if you have already been to the Black Wealth Data Center, this will look very familiar to you. And for those who have not checked out our website just yet, definitely welcome. You can go on and explore. We have a number of different visualizations you can interact with. We have a resource library, ways for you to connect with us, and of course, more information about the center. So the features that we really honed in on this particular release were driven by the feedback we've received since we launched in September 2022. One big thing that we constantly heard on our webinars and to everyone we spoke with is, you know, Jay, it's great to engage and interact with the visualizations. I would love it if I could actually download a subset of this data. And then the other thing that we really heard from folks was we love the Black Wealth Indicator tool. So for those who haven't been there, the Black Wealth Indicator tool brings together a number of different data sets, and you can actually compare counties to counties or a county with national. And so they said, you know, we love this tool, but we would love to come back to some of the searches that we've actually done. So we also heard that, and we found an easy way, or we created an easy way for folks to come back to those saved searches. So the first thing you'll notice, if you have been here before, is there is now a new section called Login. So in order to access the new features, including the data download feature, as well as the ability to bookmark and save your Black Wealth Indicator searches, you first start by creating or logging into a profile. So there are two options for how you can actually log into that profile. You can either go directly with Google, or of course use an email and password. For me, I keep things simple and go straight through Google. And then as soon as you actually go, you will come to your dashboard. And so the dashboard really allows you to see all of the different visuals that are within our Explore data sections. And you now see an area that says download zip. And that zip file actually contains the CSV with the data table associated with that particular visual, in addition to the data dictionary and the data methodology, because we understand that that's also very important to our users. So at the moment, there are 3 Explore Data pages that you can access data on, and they're actually the 3 most popular pages. So that includes assets and debt, business ownership, and education. And so when you download this data, as I mentioned, it goes right to your computer. Very, very simple, very easy. You can expand all of these so that you can see the entire list of visuals and data that's available for download. Or of course, you can go into an individual kind of topic area as well. Let's also jump into the Black Wealth Indicators tools. So as I mentioned, for folks who often use the Black Wealth Indicator tool, they want to come back to their saved searches. As you can see here, I actually previously saved a search for Los Angeles County versus national. So if we went into directly into that indicator, you will see that this will populate for Los Angeles versus national. Here, once you are here, you can actually download these visuals individually, or at the bottom of the page, you can actually download all of the images. So it would take this entire page and download that for you as a JPEG file as well. Also on this page, if you haven't already navigated to it, we do include our data dictionary and data methodology. So you can always know exactly what has happened as far as transformations or anything else with the data. We also, excuse me, we also did include a blog. So previously in our news section, we just had information around press releases and updates to data and updates to the site. However, we recognized that there was a need and a real desire for folks to hear more about how other folks are thinking through the different topics that are associated with everything that we're addressing on the site. And so now we've implemented a blog where we will periodically have pieces coming out from both Black Wealth Data Center staff, in addition to other folks within the greater kind of racial wealth equity ecosystem. So now we've implemented that, so you can come here and read up on kind of the latest and greatest thinking. And then finally, we've made it easier for you all to connect with us in 2 ways. One way is that we will begin hosting office hours. So after this webinar, you will actually be able to go, oh, it's up right now actually. So after this webinar, you'll actually be able to go to our Connect page. And now in addition to webinars, we have an option for office hours. So if you wanna have office hours, it's very simple. You go in, you let us know what you're looking for, and then we route you to whichever member of the team is actually taking care of that. In this instance, let's say, for example, you had a technical question, you were curious about the profiles or something happened, you would come and say, you know, you want to speak about product, that will route you directly to my office hours, and you can select the time that fits your schedule best. So the second way that we made it easier for you all to connect with us is through our contact page. So previously, this would actually open up a separate mail client, and we heard from folks that that was difficult and sometimes a little confusing. So we made it simpler with a form that you can fill out, and our team typically gets back to you fairly quickly, usually within a couple of days. Okay, well, that is it as far as the features go. Definitely interested to hear how folks begin to use this system, and we are always here for support as well. So without further ado, though, I'm going to hand it over to our Director of Data, who will take you through some of the data-specific updates that we made in the new release. So Harsha.
Thank you, Jay. I hope everyone can hear me well. So right now, like, we will walk you through some of the improvements and enhancements that we have made to our Explore Data pages based on user feedback. As Jay mentioned, we've been live for over 6 months and we've been hearing from our users. So the changes that you see here reflect some of the commonalities and the feedback that we've received from users. Users wanted additional context provided within a visualization. Users have also asked us for showing additional years of data in maps and making maps easier to interact with. So with that background, like I will walk you through the changes we've made so far to show you how the Explore data maps have changed and improved. So the first chart you see here is the national level survey of consumer finance chart that shows the average value, the median value of total assets, debt, or net worth from 2007 all the way till 2019. This is one of the most viewed charts in our Explore data pages. And we've made two important changes. First, we did bring in calculations for the all category. So you will see that the all categories allows you to compare specific households falling within a specific race and see how they fare against the all category. So that is the first change that we've made. The second change is that you will see the annotations here. So we did bring in annotations. The important annotation here is around the 2008 recession, where households actually experienced a decline in their wealth. And you will see that by 2013, households, especially in the other and the white category, have seen increases in their median total assets, but for like black households, there was a continued decline in the median value of their total assets. So these were the two changes that we've made for this chart, including the all category and bringing in annotations. If you do not like the annotation, you can hide it, and then that disappears the annotation away. So this is one important change. Then I will go over to our local level maps. So the first thing I'm going to call out is this map shows debt to income ratios for households. This is a completely new map at a county level. And this map is actually showing information that was collected by a private sector publisher. Here, the publisher being Equifax in case. And this is like the first time we are now showing information that is collected by a private sector publisher that has been made publicly available. So another change that you will see is the way we've organized the tables below. Previously, it was just a scroll from the left to right based on the alphabetic ordering of the names of the counties. But here you will see like a top to bottom scroll, and here it's already sorted for you based on the counties that have the highest Black population percentage. So Claiborne County in Mississippi has the highest Black population percentage, and it's at 87.1%, and the debt to income ratio is 0.78. The lower the value of debt to income ratio, the better. So we've included additional context here in the legend. The map still operates similarly. I can click on a county on the map, and it populates the information below for that county. Here, like I've clicked on Elko County, and you'll see that Elko County has a Black population percentage of 1.1, and it has a relatively high debt to income ratio at 1.82. And then I can click on a second county. And I am doing a screen share, so I'm having a little bit of a difficulty with interaction, but if you're able to like click on a second county, it should like order it for you. Right now, like we are back at the entire country, but I'll also show you sorting. So here is a way for you to like sort information. So the default sort is set to like Black population percentage, going from the counties that have like the highest Black population percentage to the counties that have the least. But here we also have a second variable. So if I actually sort it by debt to income ratio, it actually now shows you the counties in the United States that have the highest debt to income ratio. And you will see like what the Black population percentage there is. And you can like scroll down and like start seeing like counties that have like high debt to income ratios. And now as I scroll down, I actually see counties that also have like higher Black population percentage. So this is one additional way we've improved like interacting with our maps. And finally, I will show you one additional feature. So this is our county level maps and zip code level maps. I'm sorry, like I'm having a little bit trouble interacting with the screen. Okay, so I'm quickly going to show that like right now we are looking at home ownership rate. It's at a county level. And like previously, this is the only information that we shared for the year 2021 in our maps. So this is a heat map that shows counties in the United States that fall within the bottom 25% of geographies in the dark brown shade, all the way to the top 25%, which is like the counties that have the highest home ownership rate. But we've also brought in a new layer here, which is the percentage change in home ownership. So I'm going to click on the new layer. And the map should auto-populate. Now you'll see that the legend has changed. So basically now the dark shade here, this is like percentage change in Black home ownership from the year 2016 to 2021. And you will see that counties here which have like dark brown shades are like the counties that have seen the highest reduction in Black home ownership rates, whereas like the counties in high dark greens have actually seen like the highest improvement or like percentage change increase, the highest increase in home ownership rates with Black households from 2016 to 2021. So these are like some of the new features that we have on the site. We've talked about the Equifax data. If you go to our education explore data page, you will find a new visual where we have broadband internet access information coming from Microsoft, so which is another new data set that is being collected by Microsoft and being made publicly available that we've brought in. So I'm going to pause here and like pass it back to Jay. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Harsha. And again, thank you, everyone. I will note that I showed you how to download data from the dashboard previously. This is another way that you can download data. Each of these zip files are attached to the associated visual that's directly above it. And with that, those are our updates for now. I think that now we will open it up for Q&A.
I can jump in, Jay. There are 3 questions that we received. The first one was, what is the process for receiving feedback from users to improve the site experience? How can we contribute feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if my screen is still being shared. So there's a few different ways you can contribute feedback. One is if you come to office hours and you actually go to the Connect page and connect with me directly, we can go through an entire kind of feedback session together. Another way is through our contact form. So the Connect is office hours, the Contact Us is under About Us. So there you can actually leave feedback as well. And I believe if we haven't already, we can drop our email address directly into the chat for you as well. And that's another way that we monitor that inbox and respond very often. So you can definitely give us feedback in any of those ways.
You can also email us at info@blackwealthdata.org. I'm Natalie Evans Harris, Executive Director for the Black Wealth Data Center.
All right, there was another question that said, for the sake of context, how does the Black Wealth Data Center define Black and wealth?
That's a really interesting question and one that we debate often. So for purposes of the definition of Black, we are an aggregator, not a collector. So we rely on the definitions of the sources of the data to define race. So we display it the way the original data sources display it. So for instance, the way the census defines Black, white, Asian American, and other populations, that is how we present it on our site as an aggregator. As far as the definition of wealth, the reason why you'll see multiple topics across our page is because we want to fully recognize that wealth is a complex topic. So beyond just looking at assets minus debts and looking at net worth, we want to fully recognize that wealth is actually a compilation of the types of assets and the ways that wealth can be accumulated as well. So that's why you'll see data about business ownership, data about assets and debts, data about employment. We want to go across the different indicators and be able to represent the true complexities of the topic of wealth.
Thank you. The next question, can you talk a bit more about how the Black Wealth indicators came to be? Jay, maybe you could take that question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, I'd pass it to Harsha for that one because he had to run the process of both helping to define the indicators and getting them peer reviewed.
Yes, that's a great question. So the Black Wealth Indicators tool was a tool that we developed quickly after the launch because we heard directly from users that while the Explore data pages are great, they wanted a one-stop shop where they could like enter their county's information and get all the information that is relevant in terms of Black Wealth at their county level. So we picked indicators that were reliable and available at a county level, mostly coming from the American Community Surveys, as well as like a few other data sets that we have used for our MVP launch. We like read like peer researched articles about like what are some of the indicators of wealth, and then we went through a peer review process where we've had like external stakeholders like look at the list of indicators we've put together, and originally I think there were around 16 indicators that we put together, but based on the feedback that we got from external peer review committee, we were able to narrow it down to like the 8 indicators that made the most sense that we currently show on the site.
And I'll just add to that is an initial version of the indicators tool and those sets of indicators based upon the data that we have available on the site. We do intend to and plan to use our various networks to continue to evolve that tool and the indicators displayed through it. Next question, Brendan.
What are some additional features that you're exploring that we can look forward to in the future?
Oh, anything you want. No, I'm joking. We could probably look to Jay for that one. Yeah, we'll look to Jay for that one.
Sure. So I can't give away too much on a public webinar, but what I can say is we are constantly looking at refining our visuals, especially with the Explore data page. So for example, we've heard that folks want to be able to access some of those via mobile. So that will be something that we will begin supporting in the future is mobile. We're always looking at improving and streamlining things. So we'll be adding in additional ways for people to be able to get tours of how to use the tool. So that's definitely something we've heard and we're working on. And of course, we're always adding data. So as we continuously add data, we'll be continuously building additional tools, and especially as we continue to get feedback from folks like yourselves asking these questions. So if you have a tool that you're like, I wish you did this, come to my office hours, please, or drop us an email.
And I'll add to that, for some of the features that you'll see on the site today that we've done for certain topics and maybe not for others, the intention of that is, for instance, data download, the intention is so that we can test out how and better understand how users are using those features. And then we do plan to expand to the other topics as we learn more about how those features are used.
Speaking of data downloads, some feedback and a question. The feedback was, this is a great resource. Thank you for sharing that. The question was, when will the employment data dashboards be available for download?
In future releases. We are shooting to scale it across all of the topics by the end of the year. But once again, it's going to be based upon the feedback that we've received and the learnings that we've had from seeing the way it's used on some of our more popular topics like assets and debts. So I would encourage you to use it, set up your profiles, and give us feedback. Our office hours, the webinars, use all the different ways that Jay suggested, and that'll give us the information to know how to expand it and what are the best ways to do it.
Okay, next question. And Harsha, if you can potentially share your screen quickly. There was a quick question just to show us one more time how to isolate a certain state, and the ask was made for Ohio on the home ownership page. Are you able to show, you share your screen? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. So what I would recommend, given the time that we have and the technology, that we're happy to do it and use office hours to get that done. And office hours and scheduling that can happen on our website, on our site. And we can happily show you how to do that. Okay, if there are no other questions, I'm coming on to wrap things up. I hope that you've enjoyed the webinar and Jay and Harsha's presentation of our new features. We're super excited about the fact that users can now create profiles, save their filters, and download the data behind some of these visualizations. As a user-driven service and a resource, we are always looking for feedback on the things that we've done and the things we haven't done so we can continue to iterate and grow. And our goal is to see you use this data in action. So if there's any way we could help you, if there's anything that you need, please let us know. Thank you for joining us today and look forward to continuing this conversation in the future. Have a good day, everyone. Oh, please complete the survey.